Hey, listen to Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and MPR. As always, I'm Grady, and live on Skype we got Josh.
Hey.
And this past week we had NXT TakeOver Portland. So we're going to put a little bit of time aside to talk about that and how it went pretty much exactly as we'd all looked down at it. But the first match on the card, Keith Lee defends his NXT North American Championship against Dominik. Last name. I'm not butchering it. Dijakovic. There's a name there. Dominik D. Double D.
What a match. These two absolutely brought it.
And you could have, they ended 20 minutes through, but it's like, they did it in such a way where you wanted to see more. You wanted to see these guys go back at it.
I'm honestly surprised that the chant never happened. And that was the Fight Forever chant.
Yeah.
Because that's what I really was feeling at the end. I didn't want the fight to end. I wanted them to keep going.
We have other matches to get to. Come on. But, these two, they will be big stars. Obviously, we already knew that about Keith Lee, right? Like, the writing's in the stars for him. But I think Dominik's got a bright future ahead of him as well. He's just a little unfortunate at the moment that the NXT title is still involved in this Undisputed Era breakdown and has been for a while. And now Keith Lee's got the North American title, and I don't see him dropping that for a little while either. But I think Dominik's time will come.
Yeah. But it gives Keith Lee a decisive victory in the in their feud, though. So, that'll be done for a long time.
But the next match, actually we're going to skip one. The match we're going to talk about next, Johnny Gargano versus Finn Balor, 27 minutes. They just wanted to one-up North American title. Balor and Gargano went for it again. Very much like the first match.
Yeah, and I guess Finn is technically the face of NXT.
NXT, I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's the shorter show, the smaller roster, or the less frequent pay-per-views, but they do a really good job at not just having the guy or the face and having 10 believable guys.
Except they've had 3 over over this version of NXT.
Oh, the
Sami
faces,
Zayn,
yeah.
Sami Zayn became Finn Balor, became Johnny Gargano.
You've still got them, but behind them, you got Finn and Gargano at the moment. Obviously, you got Cole, you got Ciampa, you got Lee, you got Dominik, you got Dream, and you have other options that I can't remember off the top of my head. Basically, sort of legit title threats that are just sitting there that you could see at any day picking up the title. Obviously, we know where the next feud is for the NXT title, but I feel like any of those guys sort of mixed in together could be a title match.
Yeah, but that could be said of any era.
It's true.
But there was always an attraction that was above and beyond anyone else. And that's why I pointed out Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, and Johnny Gargano, because they were always the attraction.
So you think this is legitimately Finn Balor taking back the torch from Johnny Gargano?
That's how I think it was supposed to be portrayed, was that it was 2 faces of the era of NXT facing off here. Something you would have wanted to see, but never got the chance to. And then you got to see it. So, and with him winning the match, which we expected, where do we go from here with Finn? Because we obviously know where we're going with Johnny Gargano. We'll get to that later.
Yeah. We talked about fighting forever, but we will get to that. No, we'll talk about it now. We'll stick in the men's single division. We'll just jump to the end of the show. Main event, Adam Cole, Tommaso Ciampa, NXT title, retaining.
Yeah, Cole holds on to dear life to his precious title. The only title left in the Undisputed Era. Spoiler alert.
We'll get there, but yeah, they're running out of gold, and they really want to hold on to this one. And a little bit of an unexpected ending in terms of how exactly he held on to it.
Yeah, the Undisputed Era just wasn't quite enough to hold on to the title. They needed an unexpected heel turn from Johnny Gargano.
It's, usually you'll look at a feud that's run as long as this has, and you'll be like, oh man, this guy was always the better villain, and this guy was always the better hero. These guys have both portrayed amazing heroes and both portrayed amazing villains, had, like, amazing comeback stories, amazing title runs. It feels like it's the feud that never ends, but not in a bad way.
Yeah, we seriously need somebody to remake the Song That Never Ends for these two. And just make it the feud that never ends. It goes on and on, my friend.
You have a lot of footage for it, too.
Yeah, it was supposed to have had its finale last year. And it would have been an amazing match. But of course, that didn't happen with Ciampa's injury. So we're just getting it a year later.
Well, I look forward to them closing it out, the presumably on the day before WrestleMania at the NXT Tampa Bay.
And then seeing them making a lateral move.
Goddamn lateral moves.
Yeah. Probably one to SmackDown and one to Raw.
Okay. Well, someone who in that plan might not be moving is Adam Cole. We did mention Adam Cole successfully retaining his NXT title. We did say it was the only belt the Undisputed Era continues to hold on to. That is because the Broserweights are your new NXT Tag Team Champions.
Much to the surprise of, well, two people. That'd be it.
Yep.
Yeah. It was amazing to watch Matt Riddle really pull out the personality for Pete Dunne. I think I always felt that was the one thing Dunne lacked, was his personality. Everything, he had everything else, but he hadn't shown much personality, but he hadn't needed to until recently. But with him partnering with Riddle here, it's been one heck of a show.
Yeah, they've really been a really good duo, They play off each other really well. Their strengths are the other's weaknesses. Sort of two puzzle pieces that fit perfectly together.
Did we ever find out how much fish Bobby Fish could fry if Bobby Fish could fry fish?
I don't think we did. I believe we learned it was one title belt less. Yeah, Bobby Fish can't fry fish, and Kyle O'Reilly can no longer play guitar on his title belt. Biggest loss for the Undisputed Era. But we're sort of continuing down this implosion storyline that was obviously started off with Roderick Strong losing his belt to Keith Lee, and the Fish and O'Reilly losing their belt to the Broserweights. Only a matter of time until Cole loses his belt to the man that the Undisputed Era are trying to stop at the moment, one Patrick Clark.
Thank goodness for a rebrand. Yeah, the Velveteen Dream is a perfect gimmick for him, and he's going to be the next NXT champion.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely didn't feel like it was going to be Ciampa.
No, I think our NXT Tampa Bay matches have started to sort of show themselves. You know, Adam Cole versus Velveteen Dream for the title. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa in some sort of grudge match to end it for them. The Broserweights defending their NXT Tag Team titles. Don't quite know against who just yet. Keith Lee defending his North American bout against don't know just quite who yet. But it's sort of coming together now.
Yeah, it's definitely coming together. And it should be an amazing show. Good luck WrestleMania, because they're going to need it.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see the two shows go up against one another, obviously. No, let's talk about this match first before I jump over. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair singles match for the NXT Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley defending her title successfully, cleanly, nice and swiftly.
Yep, and then getting attacked by a certain Rumble winner. And no, I'm not talking about your boy.
Be a surprising twist. But no, this is where I was going. With the NXT Women's Championship presumably being defended at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that should be an interesting match. I think it's designed to really put over the NXT Women's Championship. And the woman who currently holds it. A lot of people were upset about Bianca not winning. And I'm like, well, yeah, she kind of deserves the win, but it's not her time yet.
Well, on this week's NXT, Bianca Belair did call out Charlotte Flair, so she might not be getting the title or the title match at WrestleMania, but we might be getting to see a Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair match that might give her a little bit of a rub.
Yeah. Bianca's got a huge future in front of her. I think we can all see that. It's really just a matter of time till either she wins the NXT Women's Championship or she's called up and does big thing, well, called laterally, and does big things on Raw or SmackDown.
Well, if we're talking about big things in women's futures, let's also talk about the street fight, the last match from NXT TakeOver Portland. Dakota Kai defeating Tegan Nox absolutely cleanly. Nice 1, 2, 3, middle of the ring. Kai was the better woman on the day.
Yeah, totally. Didn't attack her before the match started, and doesn't have a new henchman woman.
She doesn't know who that woman is. She came out of nowhere. It was not a plan. And she would have won anyway. We're just continuing the Kai Nox feud. We knew it wasn't going to end with one little street fight.
No, well, it's interesting. We'll have to see who they managed to put with Tegan. Now to kind of even the odds. But yeah. Dakota wins, and now we have one win each way.
Time for the old rubber. And they're probably gonna, I'd imagine, have it at Tampa, given that the women's title probably won't feature, so hey. Unless, maybe, Bianca versus Charlotte at Tampa Bay. If Bianca wins, she gets into the WrestleMania match, and Charlotte does double duty. Just saying. Well, we're roughly halfway through, and by that I mean more than halfway through the show, and that means it is time to play our entrance theme this week, and Josh has selected for us the brand new NXT Tag Team Champion, Matt Riddle. And you're back with Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and NPR. I'm Grady, he's Josh, and we still have more to talk about after NXT TakeOver Portland. Weirdly enough, there was still a SmackDown and still a Raw this week. But one of the big announcements coming out is our Elimination Chamber match. And no rumors this time. We know for sure that there will be a chamber match for the number one contendership for the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania 36. It will be Ruby Riott versus ex-Riot Squad member Sarah Logan versus ex-Riot Squad member Liv Morgan versus Asuka versus Natalya versus Shayna Baszler.
I'm expecting an amazing match, but at the same time, it's like, what's the point? Because they're already building Shayna and versus Becky. So what's the point of this match? Why go here?
Yeah, it's a little weird of one because the match itself, as you say, like, I think Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch is a foregone conclusion. 99.9999% chance. You've got Liv Morgan, who's feuding with Ruby Riott and Lana. A little bit going there. Sarah Logan, who's been doing absolutely nothing. Natalya, who is, always floating in the background in a good hand, but isn't necessarily, going to be challenging Becky anytime soon. Asuka, which, maybe she wants another shot at it. She's just had shots. It blocks up the women's tag team titles again from not being defended at Elimination Chamber. There's no options to win here other than Shayna.
Yeah, and they've already been talking like the match was already booked. Because you've had them both cutting promos against each other the last couple weeks. And then, of course, you had the bloody attack a couple weeks ago from Shayna on Becky. So, yeah, it feels like, what's the point here? Why do this match? Why not just go ahead and do... Just if you have to do a number one contenders match, put her against Natalya. You'll get a great match. And the same thing will happen. The same outcome.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand it. And if they're gonna do it, I really don't understand the competitors, but...
Yeah. This feels like it should have been for SmackDown's title. That they should have done this number one contendership match for SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
Because we already had, pretty much, without already having it spelled out, we already had the number one contender for Becky.
Yeah. And SmackDown at the moment, their whole thing with their women's division is you don't really know, Bayley versus Carmella, Bayley versus Naomi. There's a couple options. It seems like everyone's sort of fending for themselves at the moment. Bliss and Cross floating around there as well. Unless the WWE are going to do 2 women's chamber matches. But I doubt it.
Yeah, I just don't see that. Instead, I'm seeing that there'll be this one, which was completely unnecessary, and then there'll be something they'll do for SmackDown. Maybe they'll do a battle royal or something on SmackDown after Elimination Chamber, and then whoever wins that'll be the number one contender.
We do know
and then we'll have a men's one for the Universal Championship.
We do know that Bayley will be defending her SmackDown Women's Championship later in February against either Carmella or Naomi. I believe that depends on the results of SmackDown this week. So short term, that's where we're headed. Elimination Chamber, maybe a triple threat, maybe the other person gets a shot, but yeah, WrestleMania is still a big question mark surrounding who Bayley's opponent's going to be.
I still want Saucer versus Bayley.
I'm still hoping for that too, but I've hoped for that a few times and been let down. So I'll just cross my fingers deeply. We would be remiss to talk about this week without mentioning the Valentine's Day heartbreak.
Poor Otis.
There's something afoot with this.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was bad, but there was a lot of things that Otis did wrong, too. You definitely don't show up late to a date.
See, I'm going deep into this. I'm going conspiracy theory level stuff. Now, Otis got a text that she was busy and that she was still getting ready. Alright, I know he showed up late, but she should have been later too. Conspiracy, someone texted him from Mandy's phone to say that she'd be late, so he show up late, so Ziggler got a chance. I don't care who it is, conspiracy, this love must last.
Alright, so are you saying that Sonya stole her phone and did that?
I'm saying Kevin Nash stole it and texted himself. I had to do the throwback.
And then got a response of, "Oh my god, I thought you were dead."
There's a few options. Obviously, Kevin Nash texting Kevin Nash. Mandy wanting to get in there, causing some weird love triangle, wanting to make sure these two don't go together. Tucker, if you want to break up Heavy Machinery, please don't. I really don't want that option. Ziggler himself, because maybe Ziggler's just a bit of a bad man. There's options, okay? To keep my conspiracy theory alive, to keep love alive.
Or just bury your head in the sand.
I wish, the way we record this, we could time it out with SmackDown, because I feel like the fallout of this is going to be amazing this week. Somebody's going to get ripped in half. And I think it'll be Ziggler. Otis or Tucker.
I'm not so sure on that. I think it might be Otis's poor heart.
No, don't do it again. I can't handle it, man. You broke him once. You're not allowed to do it again. There's a limit on how much heartbreak a single man can take, okay? It's fine. Their love will be rekindled. I'm also going to just quickly mention Sheamus continuing to get his little push over on SmackDown. This time he successfully defeated both Shorty G and Apollo Crews in a handicap match. He's looking strong.
Yes. Well, definitely good things are coming for Sheamus.
Usually in this sort of Rumble to WrestleMania season, you can start seeing matches, come out of the stars. You're like, okay, these two will fight. Yeah, that makes sense. These two, cool. And then there's other ones where you just look at it and you'll go, something's happening for that guy. And Sheamus is one of those. Like, I don't know what match he's going to have at WrestleMania, but something's going to happen for that guy. And the other one is over
I just had an evil thought.
No.
Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, no. No. I refuse. And I'm allowed to refuse. I can veto any WrestleMania plans. I have power. And I veto those. The other man that I sort of see where I don't know exactly what's in front of him is Aleister Black. I don't quite know exactly what his WrestleMania is going to look like, but I think he's got something big coming for him. I'd hope it's something along the lines of like a Seth Rollins one-on-one. I think those two could do quite well one-on-one with a bit of time. But it all depends if Seth's finished with his Murphy stuff and his tag team title stuff.
Yeah, Blake definitely looks like the weak link of their tag team. Because when he wasn't in them, because Seth wasn't in the match they had this week, and it took Seth interfering to keep him from losing.
Yeah, they're really leaning into this Monday Night Messiah stuff, and it'll be interesting to see what happens at the end of it. But we do know that later on in February, Seth Rollins and Murphy will have to defend their Raw Tag Team Championships against the Street Profits.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Could it last? I think it might last. Until the end of February. The title reign.
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows indeed. Is there anything else from this week of wrestling that you would like to quickly touch at the end of the show?
I can't think of anything.
That's good. Every week I ask that and we never have time, so it's always good that you have nothing to say because it's been great talking to you.
Bye-bye.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/wrestlingradio, Twitter page, twitter.com/wrestlingradio, and we'll see you next week.